lagging.
Okay.
Okay, so hi everybody. So we're starting again because I forgot to press record. So just let you know, so yesterday what happened was we were speaking in my Facebook Live. And as you know, I'm sure you know that I do those every Thursday for the Janie Goddard Masterclasses Professional Development Group. That's at 4 p.m. on Thursday afternoons. Just prior to that at 3 p.m. I do a health and wellbeing broadcast Facebook Live in my group, which is called Rewind Your Body Clock, same title as my latest book. But more pertinent for this group, because this is all about practice development. We were chatting about various things that would be really, very, very useful for people. And one of the things that came up in discussion was that people are very interested in finding ways that they can actually reach out to existing clients, previous clients, and actually showcase themselves to be really attractive and informative and useful, and to provide value for new clients as well, prospective clients. Now, a lot of people, first of all, if I can just sort of explain something there, a lot of people are under the misapprehension that if you do lots of high value things for free, that people will just kind of undervalue you, and it's like you're almost kind of giving away everything that you have. What's been actually found in online marketing and all the research shows that the more that you actually give away, and the more value you give and the more help you are to people, the more they come to know, like, and trust you. They understand how you work and how what you do can help them. They are then in a better position to make a buying decision, as in pick up the phone or send you an email to make an appointment. So my rule of thumb is give away as much as you possibly can, because it truly does benefit you to do this. It's very interesting because with Rewind Your Body Clock, my latest book, the publishers, Watkins Penguin, was saying, oh, Janie, you're giving far too much away on your YouTube channel. This is my YouTube. CMA channel is a different channel, but my personal YouTube channel. Oh, you've got all these videos up and you talk about all these things, and you're also talking about them in your book. Can you please take them down? And I said, no, I'm not going to, because the more people that see that I'm knowledgeable about my subject, that everything I talk about is research based, so I've got this platform of credibility. I'm not telling you this to go me, me, me. What I'm saying is use these platforms and give away as much information as you possibly can about your specific topic. Because if you can do that, people go, gosh almighty, you are obviously the expert in your field. If you're holding back and if you're playing the sort of poverty game and, not being generous with the information that you have, people will sense that and they will feel that, gosh, you possibly aren't going to be giving as a practitioner, and maybe you're not going to be able to give them what they need. So that's the first lesson for the day, is give, give, give. Your existing clients, it's a fantastic way of getting those former clients back on board, and also, of course, courting prospective clients. Now, don't forget, everybody, if you've got any questions, you can leave your questions in the chat box. I'm just going to click and mouse over and open my chat box at the bottom there. If you're new to this, and I think we have got some new people coming in, if you mouse over your screen, you'll see up comes at the bottom there, you'll see a little kind of I suppose menu bar. Yeah, it's a menu bar really, and it's got a little square thing called chat. If you click on that, that brings the chat box up, and at the bottom of the box you can actually leave messages, you can make points, ask questions, and so on. And I will come to your questions after we've gone through this presentation, because it will probably throw up things that I need to elaborate on. Okay, so right, here we go. So the what we discussed yesterday was obviously how do we easily do great videos, because I truly believe that we need to take advantage of all of these things that are available to us absolutely free in this day and age. I mean, quite honestly, we've never lived at a better time for marketing. We need to take full advantage of it. Now, here's the thing. I don't want you to run around like a maniac going, oh my God, pressure, pressure, pressure. I've got to be on YouTube. Oh my God, pressure, pressure, pressure. I've got to be on Instagram. Oh no, I've got to be on LinkedIn. Oh no, I've got to be on Facebook and doing Facebook Lives. And oh my goodness, I've got to be here. I've got to be on my website. I've got to do a podcast. No, you don't. You really, really don't. What you've got to do is pick your battles. And what I mean by that is you've got to be very canny about how you spend your valuable time, because otherwise you're going to be just doing presentations and you're not going to be able to have time. You won't have time to see your clients. You won't have time to do your marketing. You won't have time to do your admin. So you've got to pick your battles. So that's thing one. Okay. You've got to find out where your audience hangs out. It might be a case of just asking them. That's how you actually learn. And that's how you find out how people, you know, how to actually target your location, your best online location. Ask your clients where they actually hang out. Ask them what kind of social media they actually use. Guys, can I just ask you, we're getting a little bit of interference. Could I please ask you to mute yourselves? Because what happens with Zoom is that it picks up, if you've got noise in the background, it actually picks that up and then defaults to your own screen. So that's going to be problematic because I'm going to start screen sharing to show you some bits and pieces in a minute, okay? So please make sure that you do mute yourselves. Right, okay, so how do we start with all of these bits and pieces? So you've asked, let's say you've asked your clients where they hang out online. So let's say you find that you've got most of your clients on Facebook, for example. So what you'll need to do is to set up Facebook videos or Facebook Lives. Now, because Facebook's algorithm is all about really trying to keep people on the platform, and I will say as an aside, that there are an awful lot of people who don't like Facebook. To be honest with you, myself included, you know, the whole Cambridge Analytica thing was just horrendous. You know, it's what Zuckerberg and his cronies did with that was absolutely, truly appalling. However, moving all of that to one side, what you've got to understand is that Facebook is simply a tool. And it enables you to hit your target market very inexpensively and very cheaply. Now, the rationale and the structure of Facebook is that it exists to sell advertising. It exists to put adverts, very, very specific adverts that are of interest to us, in front of our very eyes. Have you ever thought, gosh, that's really weird. Why are they showing me that advert? Because I was only talking about this the other day. And it does get a bit spooky, doesn't it? Have you ever noticed that, you know, you're just sort of thinking, oh, I was just talking to somebody the other day on the phone. For example, this happened to me the other day. I was looking out of my window. I live right on the seafront. I was looking out of my window and I was on the phone to my mum, and it was a glorious day, but very windy. I said, do you know what? I said, Mum, there are 10 guys out there surfing right close to the pier. And I said, gosh, I hope they'll be all right. I'm sure they looked very professional, so I'm sure they were all perfectly safe. I said, it's quite unusual, though, to see quite a few people actually in Hastings surfing. It's not known as one of the great surfing beaches like down in Cornwall or anything like that. Anyway, I swear to goodness, I did not Google surfing. Why would I do that? I couldn't surf, so it's not of any interest to me, but I have got an Alexa. So I have to say, I think Alexa heard me talking about surfing because I suddenly started getting surfboard adverts coming up in my feed, and I'm thinking that's really weird. It's a bit random. I mean, it's not surf season, so that, you know, so it's not like they're just showing it to everybody. It must be because my conversation was picked up by these devices. So it's all a bit spooky. It's all very Big Brother. It's all really quite creepy, but having said that, put that to one side and think about how can we make these platforms work for us. So when you think about it, Facebook want you on the platform because they want to serve you more adverts. So they will tend to favor you doing Facebook Lives, because what it means is you are engaging with the platform, you're using it to its full potential. So let's start with how you do a Facebook Live. I'm not going to go into all the nitty-gritty and say press this and do that and so on, because actually when you get to the page, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to get there, when you get to the page, you just click on Go Live, and it then takes you into the Creator Studio, and you'll click Go Live, and it's all very apparent, and that's it, you're live. It gives you a countdown, and then you are live, and you're talking to anybody and everybody who's actually following you on Facebook. So the one thing I must suggest to you if you're looking to do Facebook Lives is that you use Chrome as your ISP. That's right. No, it's not your ISP. It's just, no, what is it? What is Chrome? Roberta, what is Chrome? Turn yourself up, you're muted. I'm having a break.
Oh dear, technology, it's a browser, Jamie.
That's the chap, thank you. Total brain fart, everybody, sorry about that. It's been a long day, I'm moving offices, that's my excuse. I'm going to show you some pictures of my office, and I've tried to make them tidy. I'm going to show you those in a minute, because I'm going to show you my actual setup in just a sec. So use Chrome, because Facebook works a bit better in the Chrome browser, so there we go. Right, okay, similarly, YouTube works better in the Chrome browser, and Zoom doesn't seem to mind. It works equally well. I'm on a Mac, so I use Safari, and I've also used it in Chrome. It's absolutely fine. You can also use Firefox for these things, but certainly for YouTube and Facebook Lives, Chrome seems to be just a bit more stable. So, right, what I want to do is so we've talked about Facebook. YouTube is also very, very easy. With YouTube, you can either make a video, so pre-record it, edit it, maybe top and tail it with a little intro video and an outro video. If you look at my videos on my own YouTube channel, you'll see that my personal videos about health and well-being, I've got a little intro video and a little outro video with some music and so on. I had that professionally made, and it probably cost all of $10 to do that. It's charged in dollars, because I went to a platform called Fiverr, Fiverr, which is one of these freelance platforms. It's a website, it's a platform for freelancers. You put your job up on the platform, you just type in what you're looking for, and then freelancers will respond to your advert. Essentially it's an advert, it's free for you to post it though. The freelancer will respond, and they will say, well, look, this is my portfolio, this is what I did for this person, this person, and this person, and you just pick the one that you like the look of best. In the end, we worked with a girl in Pakistan, and she literally did an amazing job. It probably cost all of $10. For her, it was probably a 10-minute job. So for her, 10 minutes and to get $10 US goes an awfully long way in Pakistan. So you're not taking advantage of people in other countries. There are people from all over the world. If you decide that you would rather work with somebody in your own time zone, then there are people over here, for example, in the UK, or if you're in the US, in your time zone. So, you know, you can pick the people that suit the way that you work. Fiverr is good for the little jobs. If you are looking for a really more intensive job, for example, those of you who've received your CMA member goodie packs that we sent out, the gorgeous boxes we sent out, you'll see the brochure in there. We found an amazing guy who happens to be in Bosnia-Herzegovina, who used to work for Saatchi & Saatchi. up in their really high level creative level. Now that cost us an awful lot of money, but it was worth every penny, because the chap was not only a brilliant designer, but he also was able to make suggestions about calls to action and things that were really important that we hadn't even thought of. So, you know, you've got to pick your battles with these different platforms, but there are plenty out there. There's another one that works very well, and a friend of mine, a lady called Kim Constable, who's a business guru and also runs something called the Sculpted Vegan, an extraordinary woman based in Belfast. She uses a site called People Per Hour, and that tends to be more UK based. So, you know, there are plenty of places if you need creative done, or if you just need a bit of hand holding, or if you need, you know, just anything that might be useful for you at the moment, then, you know, do check out these different platforms, because they are helpful. So putting something up on YouTube, as I say, you can put a video up on YouTube, and you can also go live on YouTube as well. Both are very, very good. The thing about YouTube is that when you get a bit more into it, you can then subscribe to a system called TubeBuddy. And what it will help you to do is choose the title for your YouTube video, and also then help you with tagging your video. That all helps search engine optimization. It helps you be visible. If you get the right title and the right tagging, then it really helps your video to be visible. Now, I'm not going to go into that too much today, because you don't need to know it in order to get started. And actually, it's an art and a science in itself. It is really literally a whole course. I did a course to learn exactly how to do that, and it really does help your channel grow. But you know, it's a very expensive. That sort of course is very, very expensive, thousands of dollars. I keep investing in myself and also staff members. Megan, for example, has done these courses as well, because, you know, you've got to keep up to date. If, you know, if I'm teaching you how to do these things, and I want to teach you quick and dirty tricks and techniques that you can implement right away, I've got to make sure I'm totally up to date with all of this stuff, as of course you'll appreciate. So I hope that's helpful so far. YouTube Live is very good. Again, YouTube favor people who use the platform for that sort of thing. And it gives you much higher viewing figures and minutes watched. YouTube is all about positioning you and elevating you up the search rankings by the number of minutes that your videos are viewed, and the number of searches that you come up in. So it's one of those weird situations. And then also using Zoom to grow your practice. Now, we're using Zoom at the moment. Zoom had some glitches back in the early days of lockdown, as you know, because everybody was piling onto it. Then, of course, it got hacked by some hackers. People are pointing fingers at China. Nobody knows, because nobody knows, you know, where hackers are really located, because they'll bounce from one server to another with something called a VPN, a virtual private network. So anyway, it got hacked and there were security issues. To their absolute credit, Zoom jumped on it and changed their settings within minutes to protect everybody. Actual people's data didn't get hacked. People's computers didn't get hacked. Nothing really horrendous happened. Just their system just went wonky and a bit unstable for a while. But as I say, to their credit, they fixed it. It's a very stable platform now. And then the next one that we are beta testing at the moment is a new platform called StreamYard. Again, you know, we pay for Zoom because we get hundreds, literally hundreds of people on our Zooms. If you're only having people on your Zoom calls up to 100 people, then it's free for you to use. So why wouldn't you? It's good. StreamYard, again, is free to use, but the problem with StreamYard is that while it's got loads and loads of capabilities and it's very fancy, Very easy to use, but kind of fancy, and you can do lots with it. The problem is that if it's got StreamYard logos kind of all over the screen, and of course what they want you to do is to spend $20 or higher if you want to take all of those that branding off and put your own branding on, which actually is a good idea, depending on how many videos and so on you're doing a week. We're looking at StreamYard because it seems very stable. It's got great things like split screen capability. So if I was interviewing somebody, then, you know, I can split the screen so people can see me and the other person, whereas Zoom, you have to have one person on at a time. And it's just, you know, it's not as elegant, and it doesn't, you know, the functionality is not as good. So those are the main platforms. There's also Instagram. You know, Instagram is okay. We don't tend to use Instagram because we feel, and our research shows, everything we do is research-based, as you know, and it must be the same for you. I don't want you wasting time and faffing around trying this platform and trying that platform. Please strike where the iron is hottest. So Instagram for us, yes, you can go live on Instagram. There's IGTV, all of those sorts of things. If you feel you've got a following on Instagram, then use it by all means. But, you know, don't just think, oh, I've got to be on Instagram, because actually, no, you don't really have to be. So that's the first thing. So in order to, is everything clear so far? Am I making sense? Is this helpful so far? Leave me messages in the chat, because I want to make sure that I'm telling you things that are actually valuable and useful, because otherwise there's no point in any of us being here. Right, okay, so what do we need in order to go live? What is the setup that you need? Well, the things you absolutely need, I'll tell you the absolute must-haves, and then I'll tell you the nice to have, but you don't really need it. Just depends how fancy you are. So, I'm going to show you pictures in a minute of exactly what I'm talking about. So you'll need a phone or a computer with a webcam, or if you're really fancy, a DSLR camera. Most of the professionals nowadays and big influencers and so on will use a DSLR camera. It's portable. Many of them are doing outside broadcasts and all sorts of bits and pieces. So it makes sense to have a DSLR camera, but equally, I was just looking at some resources prior to doing this video for you. And excuse me, I've been moving offices, and there's loads of dust, and I think I've got dust. I'm eating bits of dust here. I just got an amazing table. I'm going to take pictures and show you guys. I had an amazing table delivered. It's an antique Chinese one that I got for an absolute song. I picked it up on Facebook store, you know, the shopping little thing, storefront or whatever it's called, on Facebook. It's absolutely amazing. So I will take pictures and show you my new setup, because I'm creating a new office and studio. So you'll see how it is. So I can show you and teach you more about how to set things up and lighting and whatnot. But we'll go through the basics today. So, you know, it's fine. The Rolling Stone article said they favor actually going live using a phone. And it works brilliantly. Our phones nowadays, my goodness, you know, you could have, they've got way more processing power than all of the computers that they used to send, allegedly, men to the moon back in the 60s and 70s. Who knows if they did or not? I'm not sure. Anyway, but yeah, you know, our phones are just ridiculously high quality now. So you can use a phone to go live and do all this stuff. So, you know, whatever works for you. What I'm doing at the moment, and I'll show you pictures in a sec, is I've got an iMac computer, a big iMac computer. So I'm talking to you on my computer. So that's what I'm doing at the moment, and it works just fine. Now, you will need lighting. Now, I use a ring light, which I'll show you a picture of in a moment. I'm just telling you the bits and pieces you need first, and then I'll show you pictures and point at things and walk you through exactly how the setup works. So you'll need a ring light or similar. Ring lights work particularly well because they're very inexpensive. You can get them easily, next day delivery. Honestly, I don't know how they do them for the price. You will need Zoom, Facebook Live on Chrome, as I say, a YouTube channel if you don't have a YouTube channel and you find, because you've asked your clients where they, do they use YouTube? Do they use Facebook? Where are they hanging out? If you find they're on YouTube, then get yourself a YouTube channel. Let's get cracking on YouTube. Instagram, if your clients are there, and possibly StreamYard. That's the one we're looking at the moment. So you'll also, very importantly, you can't do this without an internet connection. So you need a stable, high-speed internet connection, which must be wired. Do not go live relying on your wireless connection to your router. You need an Ethernet cable that you plug into your computer and then into your router or your router if you're in the USA. My top tip is measure the length from your computer, measure the distance, I should say, from your computer to your router or router, and go with the minimum length you can get away with. Several reasons. The first reason is because you don't want to be tripping over random loads of wire like honestly, I've got the longest Ethernet cable. I think I've got 30 meters because I used to live in a really massive place in Greenwich. Roberta came there several times, and it was huge, and my computer was a gazillion miles away from my router. It was an old Wesleyan chapel that we converted, and it was vast. It was really vast. So that's why I needed such a massively long cable. And I didn't want to buy a new one, but literally, guys, these cables, I was just checking out how much they cost so I could tell you. The sort of cable that you need, a 10-meter cable, you won't need probably that long, but a 10-meter cable is something like £3.95. They are so inexpensive, so please get one. Don't let price put you off, because honestly, it's just, they are very inexpensive. So yes, you'll need to plug that into your router. Now, if you are working off a laptop, so I'm on my big iMac at the moment, but I also sometimes work off my laptop, and which is a Mac. So you need a little adapter, because if you've got a little MacBook Air like I've got, it doesn't have, because it's so minimalist, it doesn't actually have the Ethernet hole because it's too big a hole. So you need a little adapter. But you'll know if you've got a MacBook Air, for example, or one of the little fancy ultra slimline laptop computers, they've got the same amount of processing power. The webcams on them are absolutely excellent. So there's no reason why I shouldn't go live with one of those. The one thing I would also say, which I haven't added here, and I will add afterwards, is that you will need what's called a Zoom stack. This is probably going to be one of those new phrases that goes into the Oxford English Dictionary when they redo it every year. A Zoom stack is if your camera on your computer or on your phone is not the right height, you're going to need probably a Zoom stack is a stack of books or magazines to lift your computer up to the right level so that your camera is at eye height, okay? Because otherwise you're going to be looking down, and look, if you look at me looking down, if I'm looking at a camera down there, it just doesn't, you're not really engaging with your audience, and it's also not terribly flattering, you know, because we end up getting jowls and things like that when we look down. So don't look down. In fact, it's best if your camera is positioned just slightly higher than your eye height. Another top tip is don't look at the screen, so you can see yourself on the screen. So at the moment, I've got Roberta on my screen, and I'm just gonna pin my video there. Okay, so right now I'm looking at my picture on the screen. It's very easy, if you're not used to doing broadcasts, it's very easy to look at yourself on a screen and think that that's looking good on camera, but it's actually not. What you've got to do is you've got to look at the actual camera, not just look at the camera, but you've got to look through it. Now, when I say camera, for example, on your iPhone, remember that you've got a camera on the back, but you've also got cameras on the front. So there we go, this end goes back to front. This is where your cameras are. So you'll see yourself come up here. Don't look at that. Look at the actual camera itself, okay? That's what you've got to look at, because otherwise this is how you will come across, and you'll be doing a broadcast looking at yourself on the screen thinking that you're actually looking the right way, and you're not, because I'm literally deliberately looking to one side. So you see how it comes across? If you're looking at your actual camera and not at it, but just slightly through it, imagining there's a person on the other side that you're talking to, you're actually engaging with your audience far, far better. Now, you're probably wondering where this information comes from. So I'm going to tell you, and you will be astounded and amazed at where this information comes from. Camera technique is an art and a science. And when I was a dancer, professional dancer in the West End, and I was an equity member at the time in the 80s, late 80s, all of the equity members were allowed to use a place called the Actors Centre, and used to be able to go there for free to have lessons, acting lessons, with all of the amazing actors who were currently playing in the West End. This was their way of giving back and helping future generations of performers. And so I was doing classes with Prunella Scales, Dame Maggie Smith, and so on. And I asked Dame Maggie Smith how she worked with cameras, because if you think about Maggie Smith, she's got those magnetic eyes, and she seems to be really connecting to you. And so I put my hand up and said, please, Maggie, could you please tell me how you do, how do you work with a camera? How do you get that effect? And she said, you've got to pretend that you are speaking in those days to the cameraman. So you're acting to the cameraman, you're conversing with the cameraman, and that's how you get this connection, eye to eye, and you're actually breaking down that fourth wall, as they call it in theatre. You know, in theatre, Lovey, they talk about the three walls, side to side and the rear wall, and then the fourth wall is that invisible wall that's actually sort of underneath the proscenium arch, and how actors are able to actually project beyond that fourth wall into the audience. And you can do that with camera. So this is an amazing camera technique, so please try to adopt it. So that's that. So now, what else do you need? Oh yes, okay, so, yeah, stable, right, okay. Optional things, right, okay, optional, you don't have to use this, but you can use a green screen. So I'm just going to choose a virtual background. I haven't got a green screen, but if you have a green screen, it works much, much better. I've got too much fiddly stuff going on in my background, but if you don't like your background and you feel it's not professional, or if it's a bit messy or whatever, you can actually get yourself a green screen. They're not terribly expensive, and you can it then allows you to actually put a virtual background on your screen. So you can see that there. For example, I'm suddenly now, I feel as I've probably gone into Lilliput and I'm hiding in green grass, or I'm in outer space, woo! Or let's see if we can get this one. Hey, look at that, lovely. See, look at that. Ooh, how much fun is that? It's nice. We all want to be there right now, don't we? And we've got the Northern Lights. Yeah. Now the problem is, because I haven't got a green screen, you can see as I move, you're getting kind of things kind of breaking up, and you can see that, you know, I've actually got a virtual background. But, you know, you can get nice pictures of offices and or just sort of a really nice clear clean background behind you, or just a wall, or that sort of thing. So all of these things, here's one that Dr. Jean Schumacher made for me, which is one that we use for the health changes videos that I do with Dr. Jean Schumacher, Dr. Frank Sabatino and Gareth R. Davis. So Jean made that. Let me move over so you can, so I'm normally sitting over here and not going sideways. I'm normally sitting over here. So, you know, you can do things like this. You can put whatever you want to promote up there, and your contact details. It's all sorts you can do. So let me just switch out of that, because it's a bit distracting, and, you know, I've got an okay background. It's not too bad there. So that's an optional one for you if you want to get a green screen. If you've got a dodgy background, it's a nice thing to do. If you're going to do OBs, which is fancy broadcaster speak for outside broadcasts, a lavalier or lapel mic is very, very useful. The wired ones are better than the wireless ones. Okay, so you know that's an option for you. And some people actually use their earpods, which again, you know, you don't have a wireless, and again, they pick up the sound really quite well. So that's, you know, it's a useful thing to have, because if you're outside, you know, you'll get noise on your phone. You'll get things like wind noise and so on. Michael has got a very interesting background of, Michael, are those tomatoes behind you? Hang on, let me unmute you if I can. Michael, are those tomatoes?
Yeah.
Did you grow them yourself?
This morning.
Whoa! Seriously impressive. Thank you for showing us your mighty crop. I'm going to mute you again so that we don't get dodgy goings on with the feed here. So also, oh yeah, the other thing I wanted to show you was a Bluetooth clicker. So this little device is fantastic. This is a lifesaver. If you, let's say, if you don't want to do the kind of videos where you're just sitting in front of the screen, because it gets a bit boring after a while, doesn't it? But let's say you're outside and you want to move around, or you're inside and you want to maybe show some demonstrations. So you don't want to be standing in front of your phone. Let's say you're using a phone and you're pressing play, record, and then you're running away back to where you need to be to start the video. Then you've got to edit it and so on. What you can do is you can set, this is Bluetooth, and it's got a little clicker that you can just literally click surreptitiously, maybe just down here, surreptitiously click it. It will start your video for you. So that is a really, really handy little device to have. Also, if you wanted to do some self-portraits, this is another thing you can do with these. Now, the ring light that I'm going to show you in a bit actually comes with this as standard, so you don't even need to buy it separately. But let's say you wanted to do a self-portrait for your website. Nowadays, we've all got the option. You can use this as your shutter. You can use this as your shutter press, and you can do lots and lots and lots of different self-portraits. And you've got all the lighting there because you've got your ring light and so on. So you know the things that we can do that we don't need to bring outside experts in for are just absolutely mind-blowing. And of course, you know, right? I think I was going to say yes. You need a good tripod because it really helps if you can elevate your lighting. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. Right, let me click on share screen, take you to my desktop. Okay. No, this is the one I want to share with you. Right. Okay, great. So these are the notes I'm making for you. Ignore this HTML. That's just a link to the ring light that I use, and we got one for Roberta as well because Roberta's starting to do videos. So this is, everybody, what a ring light. Let me move this over for you. Right, okay. So this is what a ring light looks like. These little bits in here are LEDs. Now, can I just ask you, as everybody sings, can you give me a thumbs up? Can you see my mouse moving on my screen? Yep, okay, great. All right, lovely, good stuff. So yeah, so these are LEDs. Now these are unbelievably powerful. So thank goodness. The ring light comes with screens. So these things here are screens. So you've got white ones. I'm using a white one at the moment. It gives a very clean, clear light. Or you can use these amber ones, or you can use a mixture of the two of them. To me, the amber ones cast a very yellowish light. I'm not madly in love with the amber ones, but I have been experimenting with using a couple of the clear ones and a couple of the amber ones. You sort of get the best of both worlds. These diffuse the light, okay? So, you know, they are actually really, really handy because if you don't put them on, you'll get a terrible headache very, very quickly. The light is those LEDs. I don't know how many there are, literally hundreds. You know how bright LEDs are. And you've got a little thing that you can turn on or off. So this little button, button thing down here, you can it's a dimmer switch, so you can make it go bright or dimmer according to your ambient light conditions. Okay, as I say, you've got your little remote clicker, little remote control, and a very, very nice carrying case. So all of this gear, including the very sturdy tripod, all packs up and goes in here. So it's nice for storage if you have to put things away, because I like the convenience of being able to quickly jump on. If I have an idea, I love to be able to quickly jump on live. So I keep everything all up all the time. I've got the luxury of doing that, and with the new office space, which is going to be office/studio, I'm actually going to have everything set up so I can literally jump on and go live anytime I think of something. And the interesting thing is, with going live and doing these videos and such, is that the more you do, the more people get to know, like, and trust you and will start following you. Okay, so that's that. So you're probably thinking to yourself, this is all well and good. So I see a tripod, I see a ring light, I see a power cable, I see that it's all height adjustable, and I see that I've got these diffusers, a remote control, and a carrying case. What the heck do I do with it all though? So, haha, have to excuse my office because, as I say, I'm in the middle of doing a move, so just ignore things that you might inadvertently see. So here we go. This is my computer, obviously. So it's a great big massive iMac. Now my camera, you can't see it because it's really, really tiny. It's here. Okay, so when I speak to you and I'm speaking directly to you, that's where I'm looking. You'll see I've got my ring light set up behind the computer, and I'll show you some side views in a second. All right, so then my desk is down here and I'm sitting in front of my desk. Okay, does that make sense? Let me show you a side. This is a back view. Okay, so you can see that I've got my computer here. I sit here, so this is where I'm sitting. Okay, you can just see the top of my chair there. And so this is the ring light set up behind my computer. Now, earlier on, actually, Roberta looked at some of this and she said, is your ring light set to one side? At the moment, yes, it is, because I was doing those videos with Dr. Jean, and I had to move slightly sideways in order for my book and my contact details to be visible. So I just shunted my ring light over to be sort of directly in front of me. Now, and you'll see it's higher than my computer. It's actually higher than my eye level, but it doesn't matter. It throws so much light that it really doesn't matter if it's a little bit above or what have you. You know, you can play with it. Just play until you see what looks good. And then you'll see, this is a side view again. Excuse the messy office, but as I say, please excuse in the middle of a move. So this is a side view. So this is the ring light. This is my computer. As you see my keyboard there, so I'm sitting back here. Okay, right, and that's something else I'm coming on to in a minute. So let's just take you back there. So you see, I'm going to swap back for just a second. Let me stop the share. Okay, so I'm back. Right, would you please leave me some comments? Is it obvious to you what you have to do and how the setup works? Let me know in the comments, please, or ask me any questions. Whilst I'm doing that, okay, Roberta says very clear, that's great. Yes, James says very helpful. I'm feeling terrified though, just the thought, you know, you've got to just practice. One of the best ways of practicing is to just do some Zoom videos. Zoom is brilliant because it downloads onto your computer, or you can get it to upload into the iCloud if you want to do that. It's kind of easier to just have it downloaded onto your computer if you've got enough space on your computer. And then you can actually look at your video and just dispassionately, without getting too engaged in it. Just look at what you like and what you don't like, because we learn just by practicing, don't we? You know, practice does make perfect. So you can just do that. I mean, I know that I'm very, 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 very lucky, because I come from a background of broadcasting. I come from a background of stage and theatre and dancing and performing arts and all of those funny things. You know, and it's funny because in, you know, working in complementary medicine, I always used to think, isn't it funny coming out of that environment? Because I've, you know, it has no relevance to being a practitioner and to writing books and things like that. But isn't it interesting how all of those life experiences suddenly come back full circle? Do you find this in life, that suddenly, you know, all the things that you did before kind of come back full circle? You think, well, I was really lucky I did that, because now I'm actually using that skill set. But you know, practice makes perfect, and by practicing we become to feel more confident, you know, and that's it. One of the things that, you know, we are setting up some courses for people. One of the courses we will be doing for you is public speaking. Now, we know you can't go out and do public speaking because of lockdown, because of COVID, but you will need to go out and do public speaking once COVID is a dim and distant memory, which would be great. But those public speaking techniques are all highly relevant for being online as well. So, you know, I teach you exactly how to present. I teach you what to say. I teach you actually also at the end of the broadcast or the public talk exactly what you have to say in order to get people to give you not a standing ovation, but a running ovation to come and get your details so they can sign up and set appointments to come and see you. So I will be teaching all of that in the courses. We're putting up these small courses for you. Okay, great. Lovely. Right, okay. Michael says, what is the proper name for it? Right. Okay, don't worry, because I'm going to create a PDF for you. I'm going to put it in the group, and I will give you the actual link to the actual one that we have. I've got three. I've bought three now. We got one for Roberta, one for me here in Hastings, and one for me when I'm up at my mum's house, because some of you may know I do spend quite a lot of time at my mum's, because she's been going through some cardiac issues and I want to be there for her. So that means that I still have to do video. So I have a ring light at my mum's house. Now they cost, the one I'm going to recommend to you is heavily discounted at the moment. It's only £69. But you know what, the one I've got, I've probably had for about 3 years, and my goodness, it's a little workhorse. Truly, I use it probably 4 or 5 times a week, and you know, when you work out how much it costs per use, it's nothing. You know, it really is. I don't know how they can do it for the price. This is money well spent. It's a good investment. Right, okay. But yeah, I personally don't just search ring lights, because the problem is you can get some really dodgy ones. So thanks for saying that, Roberta. I don't want you to just go and search ring lights, because I've had people order ring lights and they've turned out this big. So please use the one I'm telling you to get, because it's got the clicker, it's got the case, it's got the tripod, it's got everything that you need. And I then won't be worried about you getting the wrong thing and then find you've got to send it back, or it's just not fit for purpose, and so on. Okay, so right now, righty-ho. Now, anything else you need? Any other questions? Any other questions? Right, okay. Right, let me know if you've got any other questions, because I've got one more announcement for you about something that we are doing, which is absolutely flipping amazing for CMA members. So any further questions? Okay, I can get you to unmute yourselves, actually. Let's go mute all. I wonder if I can, no, let me just cancel that. Okay, unmute yourselves. Let me know if you've got any questions you would like to ask, if you would like to go ahead and do that. Have I been so clear that nobody has any questions for me? Really? Okay, well, that's good then, isn't it? Okay, loves. If you think of anything, you know, just jot it down or shout. The other thing I just wanted to show you, I'm going to share my screen again, because I just wanted to show you something fantastic that Megan and Roberta thought about. Right, let me just go back into my Word doc. Megan and Roberta thought about, and then Megan put together, these are social media posts for our beautiful CMA members. What we're going to do is we're going to make various social media posts that you can put on your feeds, which will show that you've done your PPE, that you know exactly what you're doing, that you're COVID safe, and so on. So please just keep sharing the heck out of those. So we will make sure that you get those, and they'll be emailed out to you in a special email for CMA members. So yeah, so it's lovely. It's nice because it underlines the fact that you're a member of the Complementary Medical Association. So we've got our registered trademark logo there. But also just beautiful to, beautiful on branding with our new branding as well. So I hope you love the idea of that. We think it's fantastic. So, okay, my lovelies, I'll let you go. I feel as I can keep you captive. Has this been useful? Let me know. Yes. And also, please let me know, is there anything else you want me to cover to cover for you and address for you that could be really useful for you right now? I know people are really finding it hard during COVID. Let me know if there's anything, what other topics would you like to see covered?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Anybody else? I'm going to switch to gallery view so I can see you, all your beautiful faces. Right, okay. Questions, points, anything else? No? Okay. Okay, my darlings. All right, listen, I'll let you go.
Thank you.
Anything? No? Right, okay, all right. Thank you so much for being with us. Roberta, as always, thank you so much for letting people in and moderating. We can't do it without Roberta. She's just so important to us all. And I know everybody loves Roberta. She's just amazing. And yeah, that's it. Thank you. Take care. See you same time next week. If you think of anything, just drop us a message in the CMA Facebook page, okay, or private message me if it's personal. Remember, if you ever have a personal question that is something that you don't want me to mention your name, you can private message me. If you private message me a question, I will assume that you want it to be responded to, but anonymously, okay? So, remember, you can do that. It's always okay. Or you can email, all right? I know you've all got my email address. All right, lovely. And Mike the Tomato. Okay, I love it. Take care, guys. Lots of love. Be kind to everybody. Spread your light into the world. You're amazing. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.